don't know why I've got a rake. I don't know. Hi, how you going? My name is Tyzak, but you can call me Tyz. I am a 22-year-old musician / artist. I try to release weekly. Don't always get it right, I'm getting there. Today I wanted to make a video on the topic of dads, more specifically the absence of dads. Growing up for a large portion of my childhood, I didn't have a father. I didn't have a dad in my life. It was just me and my mum. But I was very fortunate to have my stepfather, Matthew, come into my life and my mum's life by the grace of God. He taught me so many lessons in life that had I not, learned from him, I would be extremely lost. I'd be very lost. And I just understand how extremely lucky I am to be able to have a man like him that truly guided me and led me. And like I said, he is my dad. I consider him my dad. So I wanted to be able to take the gift in which my stepfather gave to myself and our family, to me and my mum, and I want to be able to bring it out to the world as well. I really hope that these sort of tips, some of this information, you can find useful. And also if you want to chat about it, feel free to go to the comments. So also I'm not writing on this whiteboard. I'm just going to draw something while I talk. I haven't figured out what I'm going to draw yet, but I'll think of something. Yeah, let's do it. I got some. Right now, first point. Let me talk about the first point first. Number one, the art of practicing patience. You're not gonna guess what it is. You might have to I don't know, once I get down here, you'll sort of get who it is, but just let it be. Being patient and listening is one of the best skills you'll ever learn. When I was a kid, I would just absolutely rattle my dad's ear off about everything that's happened at school, everything that's happened to me, girl problems, this and that. He would never interrupt. He would never try and force his opinion on. He was never distracted by what's on TV. He was always sincerely there with me as a father, listening to his child. That is so important because you feel seen, you feel heard, you feel like you matter. And that's why it's so important to be able to practice that for other people as well. If you open up to being patient with someone, sitting there, giving them a actual ear to listen, to help them with this situation, you bring not only value to their life, but then they want to bring value to yours as well. That means that they want to be there for you. And you become a person of value. It's so hard to find a person that will genuinely give you an ear, lend you an ear, someone who will genuinely hear you and listen to you. Your patience, your time, and your sincere ear, kind of rhymes, sincere ear, is one of the best gifts you can ever give to anyone else. And like I said, it also teaches you how to sit and be still with yourself and be patient in yourself too. That looks like a... I'll give you the full scope image once I'm done. This is cracked. Point number 2 is be a gentleman. This is one of the most important things that I think is crucial, that I believe is missing in a lot of people our age, and it is the one thing that me and my dad bonded over when he first got to meet me. I'll make a whole nother separate video on this at another point, but it's something that I wanted to touch upon, which we can learn at another date. I can teach you ways in which you can become more of a gentleman and incorporate it better in your life. A lot of people clown on being a gentleman. I don't know what it is about it, saying, oh no, you shouldn't pay for, their dinner, their date, you shouldn't open doors with them, flowers, oh, that's just corny. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? When we're dating, when we're looking for a partner, you must show them that you care, full stop. And doing the small things like sending her flowers or opening the door for her or paying for her date is not corny at all, because to care is to love and to love is to care. Do not be afraid to show that you care. That's the main thing I've got to say. Do not be afraid to show that you care. And look, if I'm honest, I've been on a dozen dates, and I've been on plenty of dates with girls who don't really care too much about that sort of thing. And that's completely fine, but the way you treat them, the way you care for them doesn't go unnoticed. And you know, even if you feel it's not reciprocated or it's not appreciated, at least you know you're being a good man and you're being a good partner. Ways in which you can be a gentleman. The first and biggest thing that I recommend above all the opening the doors and paying for the date and whatnot is going back to what we were saying with the patience thing. Earnestly listening. Earnestly being there, being present. You know, we're dudes, like, let's be real, like we get distracted all the time, like, you know, games, movies, comic books, you know, you name it. And I think a skill that has been lost is being a gentleman and earnestly being there for the partner. Earnestly listening. Sometimes you don't even need to give advice or give your opinion. Like we were saying before about the patience thing, sometimes your partner just wants you there to earnestly feel what they're feeling, to earnestly understand that what they're going through needs to be vented out, needs to be heard by someone. Earnestly be there. Don't be on your phone scrolling. Don't be looking at your TV or just diddle-daddling and be like, oh yeah, love that, that's crazy, oh yeah. Because then you're not being of value, of being a gentleman. That's part of being a gentleman. The other things too, when you're going on a date, of course, pay for the meal. If it gets to date 2 and 3, that's something you can just discuss. Once it gets to date 2 and 3, that's something you can discuss. Oh, hey, do you want to pay for this next one? And I've got the next one, you know. That first date, of course, pay for it. It is okay. It is a sign of you caring. Open the doors for her. It is a sign of you caring. Bringing flowers to a date, you know, leaving notes. I know some dudes like open the car door. I don't go that far. Like I'm not a chauffeur, bro. But even if they don't appreciate that, even if they don't care, that is completely fine. One thing to understand is that there will be someone out there who does appreciate it. Oh, nah, gotta bring that out a little bit. Okay, tip number 3 that my dad taught me, which has been a main staple of my life, just growing up until this point, and it forever will be. It's exercising passion rather than your anger. As you know, and as we all know too well, is that a lot of the time an absent father comes with questioning, comes with sadness, and eventually it comes to anger. And we do not know where to put that anger. We're like, oh, surely I'm punching some drywall. No, but there is a lot of bottled up anger, and a lot of us don't deal with it until, you know, we're adults, my age. And the biggest thing that my dad taught me was converting that anger into passion and transferring it into something that I can truly love and bring all that energy and just transmutate it into something that's beautiful. Music has been a big portion of my life. Like I said, I'm an artist. I just delved into my dancing as a kid. I absolutely adored Michael Jackson. I loved, or I still do, I loved all his music clips, all his routines, everything to do with his music. I'll put some pretty atrocious photos of me dancing as a kid up there. Not only that, but not just with dancing, but like I said, with art, with, you know, learning instruments, you know, recording music. What my dad taught me was to get something that is so fiery red, that has so much anger, so much rawness, and turn it, convert it into another flame, another fire, a passionate fire. And that's what I've done ever since. Having a hobby, and not just a hobby, but something that you can just dive into, like just head first, just obsess over, to just dream over, to just love over. Maybe don't make love with your hobby. Don't do that. Something that you can truly just put your all into. That was such a game changer for me. And my dad always supported that. He always supported my dancing. He came to every single concert that I had every single year. He's been to all my performances. He's come to my gigs. He's been there for when I used to design clothing, because I also used to draw and design for clothing. He's always been supportive in that way, because he knows that it's an outlet. And the reason why I use conversion rather than outlet is because the energy, the emotion needs to go somewhere. Yes, we need to process it either through professional ways or through the help of, like I said, other fatherly figures, mentors, etc. But really delving into something that you can just love truly changes so much for you. For example, for me, like you can't see, but off screen I've got my strap there that is my first ever guitar. Actually, I'll bring it on camera, give me a second. This is my first ever guitar, my first ever Strat. It was actually my dad's first ever Strat as well, my stepdad's. He got a lot of different Frankenstein parts, and you know, he built this himself when he was like 14, and he gave this to me when I was like 13, 14. I have loved this guitar, and I've put so much love and emotion. Like it's pretty battered up. The ways in which I've been able to force all that negative emotion into this thing and to expel it is, you know, by learning music, learning soloing, learning to express how I can push those emotions into my guitar, like how Jimi Hendrix and John Frusciante did. It was so important to me, and it still is, and it's all thanks to my dad, and that's why I wanted to bring this up. Bonus tip: don't sprint head on into oncoming traffic. Just don't do it. It's not going to end well. There's your bonus tip. Let's go back and do it. This is like the perfect red, but I've got like the coloring skills of a toddler. Oh, also, that reminds me as well, I've written a book about all the stuff that we're sort of talking about today. It's like a quick 30-minute read in a community chat that we've got below. I also do like weekly song releases and giveaways and videos answering you guys' questions whilst I draw just random stuff like this. So yeah, feel free to check it out. I can't remember if his hair's brown or not. Lately, I've been thinking, that's purple. This fella has had too many mushrooms. You know what type I'm talking about. Like the ones that he, you know, only grows like 10 and 2. Whoa. Right, we're nearly done. And we're also nearly done this video too. This is the last point, and it's kind of like a two-parter. And what that two-parter is the first part. It's not your fault, but what comes next is. And just don't get scared by that statement, by the way. I'll explain what it is. And then the last point is remember that one day you'll be a dad too. The hardest thing about not having a father, well, one of the hardest things to deal with, is coming to terms with the fact that it wasn't your fault. Whether or not your father is no longer here with us and he's moved on to the next life, or if, you know, your father wasn't simply around. One thing to note is that it was not your fault. Second part of that is that what comes next is. And that is such an empowering thing. And by the way, that's not me, you know, taking a jab at you and being like, well, yeah, what happens next, bro? Mate, it's your fault, come on. What I'm trying to say is that chapter, what happened to you and I, is finished. It has happened. And the beauty about what comes next, the future, is that it is on us and we can make it whatever we want. The golden opportunity that we have is all these lessons that we've learned, all this pain that you and I have dealt with. The great thing is that we've been able to take all the broken pieces, understand how to glue it back together, and turn it into something new. What we can learn from absent fathers that weren't there is how to be a really great man. Learn how not to be, you know, an absent father. Learn how not to treat others. Learn how not to treat yourself. It is now within our power, and it's such an empowering thing, and it can truly set you free. Like I said, we can use what happened to us as a blueprint to build a better future, and we have that opportunity. And which leads to my second point, which is remember, one day you will be a dad too. Like I said, we're all young. Like I'm sure a lot of you are in high school right now, you know, not even thinking about what it's like to be a dad in the future. And I'm not telling you to worry about that at the moment. All I'm saying is simply reflect on the fact that one day you will be. Like maybe you might not have kids, that's fine. But the majority of us, one day we will become fathers. And the simple thing to think about is you'll have a little mini you running around, trailing you, you know, being in your shadow, wanting to be part of everything. And like I said at the beginning, how empowering would it be as if that little child, that little kid, wants to one day be like you, just like I am with my stepdad. It's little things to think about, not something to put pressure on. But you've got to remember that at a certain point in time, we must take responsibility, not only for ourselves, but for others. And at some point, we've got to be a guiding light for others. Who is the man I'm going to be one day? And will it be for the better or for the worse? Back to what I was saying before. What happened to us was not our fault, but what comes next is. And really take that, feel empowered by it, and just take it by the balls. Charming. What a lovely cherry on top to put on that. Speaking of balls, look at his chin. Look at his chin. This is absolutely drooping. It does not look like a chin. Anyways, I'm going to finish this guy off quickly. Give me 2 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Super Marlboro. Super Marlboro Bros. Thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to sit and listen to me ramble whilst I'm drawing this rubbish. As mentioned before, I have a book that talks more about this sort of stuff. Like I said, quick read. If you feel like checking it out, it's in the description in the chat community that we've got. But other than that, thank you, and tell me what your favorite ice cream is. Catch you later.